Good morning, everyone. Today is 23rd of January, so almost the last week of the month. The first month of the year is almost done, and we are doing another weekly market analysis. So my name is Pedro. I'm the senior market analyst at Alphachain. I'm going to walk you through what can you expect for this week of trading, right? So we are getting closer to the first Fed meeting. It's going to occur on the 1st of February. So everyone is waiting to see what's going to be the first from the Fed. It's going to continue to be it's going to change the direction to dovish or not, or it's going to continue to be aggressive and telling the market that your expectations of what you are looking for are not as correct as you may think, and looking to still go to 5% or above in interest rate by the end of the year. Last week, nothing really much happened. We are in these earnings seasons at this point. So a few corporations, for example, Netflix actually managed to move to the upside, a positive days in the market for them, with higher subscribers than expected. I think they gained kind of close to 7 million or just above 7 million subscribers during the last quarter, which was a good sign. And this week it continues with another earnings. For example, we're going to have Microsoft. Tuesday we're going to have Tesla. On Wednesday, you're going to have Intel, next Thursday, and so on. So it's going to be full week of earning reports across different sectors in the US, and that's going to most likely move the indices and move the market, right? It's going to see the outlook for the US economy, to see if everything is okay or if there's anything that we should be concerned about after all these hikes in the interest rates. So yes, that's going to be something to pay attention to. The market, as we have seen this year, has been quite bullish across all the risk-on assets have been moving to the upside. In particular, crypto, with Bitcoin and Ethereum skyrocketing all the way through during this year. At this point, for example, Bitcoin is already trading at it's trading at 22,800. It even reached 23 over the weekend, right? It was another Friday closing with another rally. Basically, that's maybe a good strategy in there. Just trade kind of the closing on Fridays. Just go bullish in there, and you kind of get the biggest rallies that you can imagine. Even when price was going down, I remember there were a few moves to the downside during last year that occurred so close to the Friday closing, which apparently it's a good timing to jump into the market in BTC, for example. So yes, Bitcoin at 23K at this point, in Ethereum, for example, is already crossing the 1,600, just close to break this high in here, which is a key level as well to look for. So risk on assets they've been going higher this year, and we see the dollar going down, the yields going down as well. And we have seen gold and the indices going up as well. So yes, last week, nothing much to report. Of course, the biggest event, it was the Bank of Japan, as you mentioned. Nothing was decided in there. They decided to continue with the same approach. So no, the cap at 0.5% on the 10-year bond, government bond in Japan, it was remained the same. So nothing changed, and they continue to the easing approach. So actually, Japan has been loaning money to the banks, 5-year loan banks with 1 trillion, just to help them out with this pressure of the bonds that kind of the market is pushing above 0.5%, but they are not doing they don't want to go over that. So they are basically doing the opposite of the other central bankers, which the other ones are actually what they are doing is shrinking and rolling out plans to shrink the balance sheets, right? That's what we can see in the Fed, in the Euro area, and Canada and UK, for example. So yes, nothing much happened last week. This week we are going to have GDP data being announced next Friday, and we are going to have PCE being announced. GDP being announced next Thursday, and PCE being announced next Friday. So we are going to have the first report for Q4 in the US. So expected at 2.6. Last quarter it was 3.2%. Revised from 2.6 to 3.2. So strong US economy as it seems. Let's see for how long that's going to happen, and let's see if US is going to avoid recession how long during the next year. We are also going to have PCE next Friday, just a few days before we have the FOMC meeting on the 1st of February. Aside from that, we are going to have CPI data being announced in New Zealand and Australia this week as well. And we are going to have the first central banker decision in Canada next Thursday. So expecting a 25 basis points hike from 4.25 to 4.5%. So it's the first one being announced in here, and let's see what's going to happen afterwards. In Asia, everything looks like it's going to happen a little bit slowly because it's basically bank holidays across the Asian markets, celebrating the Chinese New Year. China market is going to be closed all week, and then other markets in Asia is going to be closing during a few days during the week, not all week, but most of them. So expect maybe low volatility during the Asian sessions, comparing what usually we see happening. Tuesday is going to be full of PMI data. It's going to be interesting to see how well the Eurozone is going to be performing in here. The outlook for the Euro area is being kind of revised to the positive way in 2023. What maybe some analysts were expecting as a recession, but at this point is going to be quite close to zero. So a better outlook, or even slightly positive. So all these data, as you can see, at this point in the previous months, it has been negative. My negative is below 50. That shows contraction in the economy. Let's see if they're going to show better numbers or not. And you can see how bad it is at this point in the UK and in the US. And this kind of shows a little bit of a contradiction based on the market has been, how the market has been trading. So optimist at this point. So there is contrary data coming from the US with a strong unemployment, with the CPI going down. But then we look at this data of PMIs, services and manufacturing, and so on. You see that there is contraction. So let's see how everything is going to play out during this year, or when the shift is going to start happening as well. So that's basically what we're going to have during this week. Most likely the topic is going to be the earnings and what the Fed is going to be saying or doing during the next meeting. Another thing that happened last week, it was a little bit of a few commentaries from the Fed members mentioning that they are kind of in alignment with what we heard during the last Fed meeting. Above 5%, that's kind of the target what the Fed is looking for. However, different approaches how to get there. Some of them in favor of starting to slow down, 0.25% in the next meeting, and then continuing like that until they start seeing better, and that actually inflation continues to go down and reaches close to the target of 2% that they are looking for. Some other maybe a little bit more aggressive, maybe some 0.5% until, and then kind of slowing down the rate hikes. So yes, let's see exactly what's going to happen. But the similarity in those comments is the rate to go above 5%, and the market is not pressing in that price. The market is pressing in below 5%, even with potential maybe on the Q4 next year or this year to start being reduced. So yes, that's going to be that conflict between the market and the Fed, and that has been a topic that we have seen during even last year as well, when there are different expectations in that regard. So that's what we have seen in terms of the news events. If we take a look at the market and how the market is reacting, another big point is for, of course, oil. The oil market have been arriving after having a negative week in the first week of the year, has been moving to the upside recently, which is trading at this point at $80 barrel. So the first week of the year, it was out this move to the downside, came back close to the $72 and now it moves to the upside. It even managed to break that previous high at around $81. So that's going to be interesting. One of the reasons, of course, for the rally on the oil is the economy is China reopening. So it's going to be more demand coming from China. Is the fear of recession maybe easing a little bit? That's why we are seeing as well the risk on assets going higher. And it's also announced that most likely in Russia there's going to be a reduction of production of 1.6 million barrels by the end of this first quarter, even comparing with Q1 from last year before the invasion in Ukraine. So those are kind of good news for the oil in terms of looking at price going higher. However, there's a comment actually last week from Christine Lagarde in Davos, mentioning that the reopening of China can actually be a little bit of a problem for the rest of the world because of the inflation. Because of China reopening, maybe we can see these energy prices going higher, and one of the main reasons to see the inflation going down during these last few months is because the energy costs have been going down. That was one of the main factors to see the inflation go down. We see the cost of food and transport and so on still high, but the energies has been going down. So if by any chance you start seeing WTI starting to go again, maybe to close to $90 or even a little bit higher than that, that can raise some concerns in terms of inflation. We may have the worst case scenario, which is the inflation to come back to start rise again. So it's going to be interesting to see as well what's going to happen in here and what's going to be kind of the range that the market's going to find for the price of oil, right? So last thing that the Fed wants is to start seeing eventually, of course, expecting the unemployment rate to start increasing. That's already kind of predictable, to go maybe to 4.23, and at the same time looking at the energy costs going higher, which could lead to the inflation to go higher again. That would be really negative to the market and to the Fed in terms of what they could do next. So yeah, keeping an eye on oil as well to see where it's going to and what key levels maybe we can find in here. So let's go to take a look at markets. How did the market reacted last week? So yes, S&P found its barrier at close to the 4K level. So in the past, it's been looking at that level, kind of a level of resistance before, and it's working once again. The market is really paying attention to that level. We just cross a little bit, or are trading close by to the moving average, 200 moving average on daily time frame. That shows the long-term view in terms of bullish or bearish, the way the big investors look at the market, and we are around that level, right? We cross above, we cross below. We are in this indecision point at this point, looking at this moving average. And we have also this big trend line that goes from the higher highs from last year all the way until here, and that's a key level where price is reacting. So overall, in the bigger picture, somewhere in here, even considering this high in here, can be a key important level to see if you are going to kind of manage to break above in respect to this level and continue to go higher, or the opposite. We are going to actually to find some resistance at this point, and maybe price can go and continue to resume the move to the downside. So important to pay attention to what's going to happen this week on the indices. This is S&P, Nasdaq. We're having a little bit quite similar as well. There's maybe a little bit more room to the upside, looking at the levels themselves, where price can go and react from. That is another one, right? It's another one that's going to be important to look for and to see how price is going to react. And for sure, the earnings this week, it's going to be a big factor of what one of the main reasons to and can affect the movement in the indices. So yes, we are still in this bearish market. There's still key levels that needs to be broken before that, but we kind of respected quite nicely these lows. So let's see if the tendency for this month and maybe for the first quarter is going to be seen continuation to the upside, or by any chance we're going to start having a little bit of a range and maybe resuming the move to the downside in here. Nasdaq has been lagging a little bit comparing with the S&P and the Dow Jones in terms of the movement to the upside. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. Last week, actually, something different happened, which is Dow Jones actually with the move to the downside. So when price actually moved to the downside during, I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, actually moved faster to the downside comparing with Nasdaq, even S&P, which was a different dynamic from what we were used to see, especially during this rally from the last quarter of last year. Technical levels in here on the Dow, price respected this low, so it can maybe respect it and continue to go higher, or if it break it, I think there's going to be potential to go all the way maybe close to this 31,700. So let's see what the Dow Jones is going to do at this point. Personally, looking at the bigger picture, I could see price going a little bit lower even before kind of breaking this highs. I see this one kind of a break to the downside. I think there's a little bit more room for price to go down, maybe close to this level. So yes, the retracement, it was a good retracement in here, just to a good level in there, and I think we maybe can continue. We need to break this lows first, but then I think there's a potential for price to move closer to that level on the Dow Jones. So that's something to pay attention to. On the other hand, if we never even break this level, maybe the continuation to the upside is just going to happen, and let's see what's next in here on the Dow Jones. So those are the indices moving quite in a similar way. The highs reacting a little bit to good levels in decision points as well. So let's see what's going to happen next. DAX has been going to the upside, and now it found some kind of resistance at around this 15k 280, showing actually the optimism around the euro area. Key levels now, of course, this previous level of resistance can maybe work as support, or even this was in here, price maybe can move a little bit more to the downside before maybe resuming to move to the upside. So maybe keeping an eye around these levels, or even this demand zone in there. But yes, we had out this move down somewhere in here, could be a good level for price to bounce from, and it's happening, right? So because I have in here, previous level, a little bit of support can work as resistance as well. So let's see what's going to happen in there on the DAX and FTSE, right? So FTSE managed to break, almost getting to the all-time highs in there. It just broke finally all these highs from COVID. They were holding and working as resistance for so long. We just broke through. We're testing this high in here from May 2018. We never really managed to break it, just to test it in there. And now, of course, this key level in here at around 7,690, previous level of resistance. Let's see how price is going to behave in here, and if we're going to manage to create new higher highs or not on FTSE 100, which is interesting, right? We have the equities, and in here creating or getting close to all-time highs, while it doesn't really show that the UK economy is that strong, right? So it's a big contradiction from what we can see in here and what we actually see in the UK. Yes, there is a better optimism after the change of the prime minister, after all the situation that occurred by the end of September. However, this looks like too much optimism to myself personally. So let's see what's going to happen as well in the UK and in the FTSE 100. Looking at the currencies, we have dollar, and dollar can be a big key point in here. We are approaching this low, so this low has been one of the targets that we've been looking for, one of the key levels. This is a weekly, monthly, daily low, so it's a higher time frame low at around 101. And personally, I think we are going to break it before any reversal. Price is retesting it one more time, but I think we are going to have and to break this level in here. Question mark is what's going to happen next, right? Because after the break of this one, maybe there's going to be an opportunity to actually move to the upside. We're also approaching this previous level of support, of resistance in here. Around this area can be interesting. Looking even at the daily or weekly time frame. This on the weekly, on the daily, I think it was on the daily. Yeah, on the daily time frame, you can see there's a little bit of a space between this high in here and the previous low. So there was a little bit of a gap in there. Price broke this low in here. So price went up, broke this low, but never really reached to this level. This will kind of let that space in there. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen after we break this low. What's going to happen somewhere in here? Are you going to find a return? And there's going to be some bullish momentum on the dollar after this move to downside since the end of October, or are we going to just continue to go lower? Next target, if we don't respect that level, most likely I'll be targeting below this triple that's going on in there. But I'm curious. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen here. I think we may see a move to the upside. I think we can see something like this happening, where price may go down, then take this high, react from there, and then maybe something like this can occur. Even we target somewhere in there. If we do break now above this high, especially above this level in here, I think next target is going to be somewhere in there. Towards the move during the last NFP, with the potential to go even higher, maybe close to this level, right? So after the break of such an important low, sometimes you have those deep retracements going on, and maybe one of the levels could be filling this price, or even initially, of course, filling this price altogether in there, with the potential to see how price eventually, when it gets here as well, it's going to be interesting between these levels. So yes, this week I will be paying attention to see what happens after we break this low, which I believe is going to happen. The same scenario is on the euro dollar. We are getting close to some highs on the left side, which I'm going to be looking at as well to see what's going to happen. At this point, price is respecting the low, so great. Euro index, it just continued to move to the upside. It moved down. It apparently respected this level in here, and after that, it just continued to go higher. It's building up some scenarios where it can be close to a reversal on the euro. Let's see when that's going to happen. This was one of the targets as well that I was looking for. It will be above this level in here, right? So how this looks compressed at this point, there was maybe a little bit of zone in there, but after the break of this one, which was the last point in reality, yes, targeting and going all the way up, taking this highs could be interesting. There's something in here. Our price can actually go all the way a little bit higher and actually respect this previous level of support in here at around 103, 1032 in there on the euro index. Also, that level in there can be interesting at 1027. Can be quite interesting to see. Just taking these highs, let's see what's going to happen next. This level in here is important to see if we do have that final turn or not. So again, keeping an eye on the euro. Euro continues to go higher. Eventually, we may be close to a reversal in here. Maybe when that happens as well on the dollar, when the dollar goes up. And the yen pairs, right? The yen pairs is in this range. Basically, with indecision from the Bank of Japan of not doing anything last week, has been pushing the yen to up, moving up and down, right, without any proper direction at this point being made. Price respecting, it's creating in this range in here, and let's see what's going to happen during the next trading sessions. Because at this point, everything remained the same. Bank of Japan not doing, continuing with this easing approach. Yes, I was looking a little bit for at these highs in here. We may break these lows, but at this point, there's nothing really being created. We didn't create a new higher high with this retest. We didn't either create a new low with that one. So it's in this range. Maybe we can draw some kind of channel like this. Let's see what's going to happen on the end. If you manage to break below some lows, maybe you can go a little bit lower, or if you're going to retest the highs one more time in there. So looking at the major FX pairs now, let's take a look at let's take a look at the euro. So let's start with the with the euro. We can see that euro continues to move to the upside. Again, something that is missing, or something that I've been trying to look at before actually calling it the potential reversal. I haven't seen a proper break of a low or a break of a high, neither on the dollar index yet. Like the high hasn't really broke a level of structure in there. The same way that on the euro price, kind of anytime it goes down, it kind of respects the previous low. So we are building up this strong compression without properly still having an engulf to downside. We may even break now this one. Price may just go here, retest this previous level in there, and they just continue to the upside. So euro is reacting from this level on the left side in here. This high. My key point is actually going a little bit above it. So to take completely the highs from the 6th of April and going closer to the next zone in there. This literally space created in between these levels. We are approaching those levels. We already have all these highs created in here. This can be enough, kind of almost to create enough liquidity for price maybe to reverse after that. So keeping an eye, maybe tomorrow, maybe today, we may create new highs on the euro, and maybe tomorrow, Tuesday, we may have some kind of beginning of a reversal in there. So yeah, keeping an eye on what's going to happen on the euro. Today, maybe something in there. Again, we can even go all the way back to test this low and then kind of resume the move to the upside. That's basically what the euro has been doing during these last trading sessions. Very similar to the gold as well. Anytime gold goes up or goes down, actually it managed to respect some key level and then just continue to go higher. So the euro, again, tomorrow with some PMIs, maybe that's going to be some kind of reversal going on. And the pound finally broke the highs, right? So it just took these highs in here today, this morning, just slightly took the higher high, and you can see already some reversal going on. Bigger picture, this one for me can be seen a little bit as an engulf down. Again, I do like the approach on the pound. There's a little bit of a space in here. Price can actually take these lows, react from something in here, and let's see what's going to happen next. It's moving quite strongly to the downside this morning. Yes, we took that high, as you can see on the left side. It reversed straight away. So let's see what's going to happen now. Personally, as well on the pound, to something that I was expecting, the break of the highs, but I don't think price has yet reached the final destination. I'm actually looking for price to go a little bit higher, a little bit closer to somewhere 1.2475, something like that, around this area, right? So we have this high in here. So I had this high that never really reached that point. Price now at these highs in here reacted a little bit from the base of this level, and we have actually the fresh level still being placed in there. Second. Yeah, so this is a little bit the level that I'll be looking for somewhere in here. Maybe it's for some reaction. Let's see how the pound is going to react, and maybe from there maybe can have or start having a deep retracement. At this point, maybe a little bit of this demand zone. Price can go below that. Price can react from here. If after that is taken, I think price can start looking for price to go maybe all the way there, at least, with the potential if we do break below this level, can even target all the way back to these levels and here close to where we were around the NFP day. So yeah, keeping an eye, maybe you can have can be close to proper reversal. If nothing this happens, price may just continue to go higher and we keep following price along the way. That nice move to the downside on the pound today, which can be seen a little bit as well on the opposite side on the euro pound, right? So this was the key level in here. It's a little bit compression, basically filling out this range. Price finally touch that level. That's when you can start seeing the pound reacting. And let's see as well what's going to happen next on the euro pound. Maybe targeting a little bit this level. Our price will just continue to move higher now and reaching new highs. That could lead as well for the pound to go and go down. So yes, you can also take advantage of the correlation between different assets. Aussie. So let's keep an eye as well on the Aussie. Aussie already kind of last week made all this move in here. Again, not really a break to the downside from all this range in here. So question mark as well to see what's going to happen in there. We did broke these highs last week, reacted from this good level in there. Final destination can be still a little bit higher. Nevertheless, it's a good level always to look for some kind of reaction. This previous level of demand, price should have respected, it didn't, so it can usually be respected on the opposite side. Now, bigger picture, this can work actually as an engulf higher after breaking these highs, with the final destination maybe getting closer to that level. So yeah, I didn't really break this level. I'm curious to see how price may react closer to that level to see if you're going to have a reaction to the downside from there or not. Yes, if we had broken maybe this low, maybe a little bit more room to the downside, at least in here. So let's see as well what's going to happen in here on the Aussie dollar. Yeah, let's keep an eye and see what's going to happen in there. Potential move a little bit more to the upside, and then again, if can be in alignment, don't forget that overnight you're going to have the CPI data in Australia. However, yes, when you have that turn on the dollar, that can kind of be a big factor to move all the other major FX pairs with it. Where are you going now? So the yen pairs is another one that to pay attention to. Losing connection here. Okay, so let's take a look at gold. Maybe the other platform is getting better. Gold. What are you looking for? Gold, right? On gold, we continue this rally to the upside. Price now is reacting from this good level of structure at around 1,937. And similar to what I mentioned on the euro, at this point, anytime we go down, there's not exactly an engulf to the downside. It's literally just price keep respecting every single low along the way. So if you just do a simple exercise of following the previous low, we have a new high, and then you kind of just keep respecting the previous lows without breaking and without creating newer lows, and that's what you are having. So anytime you even have a good opportunity to sell, just be aware if you do break an important low or not, and at this point we haven't done it. So it's literally price respecting. Eventually, yes, we may have a good trade in there, a good reversal, and we may feel all this price, and maybe can target all the way until, I don't know, somewhere in there, or a little bit farther down. So gold has been moving quite strongly to the upside. We took this sign here, and now we are acting from this level. So yes, looking somewhere in there to eventually have this highs in here. There's maybe something in here that you can look for, and now we are reacting from this level. So yes, somewhere in here can be something interesting. Can even take these highs before that, can maybe continue to go higher until kind of take these highs and then retrace. from here, yes, I'll be looking for a potential shorts somewhere around this zone in there, but be cautious with your expectations in terms of targets. At this point, I still don't see the proper break of a low that can tell me, okay, price is ready to, oh, this is a really good call that shows me that price wants to turn. I haven't seen that yet happening. This one can be even a good level to even short, even here today, but with targets closer to that zone. That's kind of a little bit what I'm looking at on gold. The N pairs, as we mentioned, a little bit in a range at this point with a little bit indecision. Price is reacting from this important low, dollar yen, and within this high. So it's within this range, between this high and between these lows. Let's see which level is going to be broken first, either to the move to the upside or we can actually break to the downside. It's a little bit similar to dollar index that is reacting from an important low, close to this previous level of resistance as well. So it's going to be interesting to see if we do respect it or not. I could see even a new low being created in here, but still respecting this level in here. So without the need to break the lows. If you do break those lows, maybe something underneath can be used, and then kind of a reversal to the upside. Nice compression as well in here. Maybe some orders in there, or then the zone just above it as well to keep an eye on in terms of trading opportunities. So yes, at this point, last week price respected this low without the break in there. So a little bit of indecision on the N pairs. Around, we can even literally see and identify the other yen pair. So we have this one is euro yen, kind of again in this range, not really breaking the lows, not even breaking the highs. Similar as well, this Aussie yen, again kind of respecting highs in there, respecting lows in here, and the pound yen a little bit the same story, right? Good moves, strong moves, but then when it reaches the key levels, it's kind of respecting it without actually breaking any key level in here. So yeah, kind of took the high, kind of reversed straight away. So let's see how it's going to react from that level. So this for the N pairs. CAD has been moving to the downside. So we had was it CPI last week? And you're going to have the interest rate decision next Wednesday in the Bank of Canada, expecting from 4.25 to 4.5. So it was a good level in here where price reacted. Personally, I'm still looking eventually for price to go below this low. This level, there you go. So it's a reaction from here. It's actually maybe potential move to the upside. So we had this double low actually for the intraday setup, could have been. This demand is fresh, so there's maybe even an opportunity to go for longs a little bit in here. Maybe retesting this level at least. But yes, bigger picture. Yeah, if price respects this level, yeah, maybe move more to the upside. But bigger picture, actually, I'm looking for price maybe to go and maybe take that level and getting close to this level. Again, there's going to be maybe good opportunities on the CAD this week, especially on Wednesday with the interest rate decision going on. Bigger picture, yes, we are in this bearish momentum. Not just as a clean or a straight move up and down. There's a lot of time being spent at around these ranges in here. So yes, bigger picture maybe can have more room to the downside on the CAD. So yes, interesting to see what's going to happen in there. Dollar franc Swiss, it's another one that we are looking for. Again, bigger picture, price moved all the way and feel the compression that was in here. We tested this low, good reaction. Where did it go to? Just this level in here, the previous level of supply that made all these move to the downside. It was also a strong zone, previous level of support, a little bit resistance. Again, not exactly a break yet to the upside to show maybe that price wants to go and feel the rest. So feel the rest of the range. So it respected it. So we are within this range, from this low all the way to this high. Let's see which direction is going to be broken first. Are we going to break to the upside or to the downside? There's maybe something still around these levels that price can be can use as a potential long, I would have preferred to see this level first being broken to the upside before price kind of retests this level to look for an opportunity to go long. So that's for the dollar franc Swiss. Gold, we already kind of talked about a little bit at this point. Maybe a little bit more room to the upside. There's maybe something in there that you can look for. Eventually, price can actually go all the way close to this 1,970 to look for a potential move to the downside. Let's see what's going to happen on the intraday on gold. And just to finalize, so let's take a look at a little bit of crypto. Where or what can we expect now on crypto, right? After this strong move upwards, we talked about that last week as well. So yes, there was a little bit of space literally from here to here, and there was still another space being created or left behind from these highs all the way to this key supply level that managed to break all this structure in here, right? So this was a key point. Price never reacted from there. I remember this one was from a CPI data that price kind of just reacted from the base of this. It left this level behind and it was reacted now from there. And the level that was left behind in here, it's now being respected. What should have been used actually as a short, it's now being used as a long in here. So yeah, BTC, where are we heading to? Nice little zone. So it took this low, nice little demand in there. Price can actually continue to go higher from here. Interesting to see as well how now it's going to react a little bit close to this level. But this one in here, it was a beautiful zone actually to look for an opportunity. Are we going to respect this level, retrace, and maybe get closer to this 21K, 21,500K, or not? Or are you just going to continue this rally move and retest maybe the highs all the way back from August, getting closer to this level? That's going to be interesting. This is going to be one of the first big barriers on BTC after this move to the downside. If you do break above it, there's a chance to get closer to 30K. And 30K was this previous level of support that can now work a little bit as resistance somewhere in there. So let's see what's going to happen in here. Maybe you can continue to go higher, maybe even take this highs, go down a little bit first, maybe react from here and then continue to go to 30K. So let's see what's going to happen on BTC. It's reacting from a good level so far here on the left side. So yeah, but it went all the way back to respect the same low, the daily low in there. So let's see if it's going to continue in the range or the bullish momentum is going to be in there. And Ethereum as well, another one that is trading strongly to the upside. We took the previous highs in here and we took the high as well, right? So we finally took this high back from November, and you can go all the way up. This level in here can be interesting. So at this point, BTC is already reacting from this level. So at this point, BTC actually kind of reading a little bit comparing with Ethereum, just based on the key levels that were created since this high in August all the way to the lows. BTC is already reacting from there, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a little bit more room to the upside on Ethereum. First level to look for most likely can be this one, 1,755. Important to see if this level holds as well or not on Ethereum. Otherwise, you may have a little bit more room to the downside in here. So yes, careful always after a small break of a highs, there's always a possibility of a retracement. Respect now these levels in here, this previous level. So let's see if we have continuation to the upside or not on Ethereum. So yes, that's the key factors in there in the crypto. And basically that's it in terms of what we are looking for next week. Again, pay attention to the earnings that are coming out from some tech stocks, and then GDP next Thursday, PCE next Friday, and how the market is going to position themselves in anticipation for the first FOMC meeting, which is going to occur in 10 days time around the 1st of February, 1 week from now. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy and have a great weekend. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next week.